Welcome back to the channel, guys, and you join me for the Season 3 German Grand Prix here at the Hockenheimring, and it's the home race for Mercedes-Benz, of course our team and engine supplier, for our resurgence and drive towards the World Championship here in Season 3. So we come off the back of the British Grand Prix where we got P3, nothing too awful. Looking at this weekend, Renault bring a big upgrade, Red Bull bring a minor upgrade, Force India and ourselves not really bringing anything. So it is definitely closing in at the top. Red Bull clearly not giving up as of yet. You know, we've seen them drop off a little bit as the season's gone on, but clearly haven't fully given up, and we'll see how that extends through the second half of the season. But we're racking up resource points just in case, you know, if there is a late season charge by Force India, by Red Bull, hell, even by Renault at this point, because they're clearly trying. We will definitely sink some points into our development. Speaking of our development, we've got a major front downforce upgrade coming to the car. So I'm just having a little look, because realistically this is where we're letting ourselves down the most, because that's where Red Bull have improved and that's where Renault have improved coming into this weekend. Downforce. We were third in Silverstone. We're now fourth in the chart. So I'm going to get myself another rear downforce upgrade and a minor drag upgrade, and that should put us top of the pile on aero, because I really, really want to win this title. And I'm prepared to dominate, should I need to. But now, let's dominate quali.
Welcome to Germany for today's qualifying session at the famous Hockenheimring. The pit lane lights will turn green in the next minute or two to signify the start of qualifying.
Speaking of domination in quali, here it comes. So I didn't show the weather forecast because for some reason it didn't pop up. But basically, it was 5 minutes of dry, and then it was going to absolutely piss it down. So we have got one opportunity to deliver our fastest lap of the weekend. And here we go. We're already through turn 1, DRS, and we are braking in towards turn 2, kissing the apex beautifully, and then trying to maximise our exit, because we've, of course, got the long, straight, I say in inverted commas, because it's just a long left-hander, really, up towards the number 1 overtaking opportunity on the circuit of the hairpin, braking just after the 150-metre board. Marcus Ericsson, a 1:12.4. He sets the fastest lap first. That certainly will not be the fastest lap, as we now charge towards the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. They will be on their feet for the number 1 driver in the team. That's right, I said it, Bottas, and championship leader. We now swing through, flat through the right-hander. Look at the grip the car gives. We are nearly a second up on Pierre Gasly's time, and then maximum commitment. Probably could have even carried more through the Sud curve, through the Dunlop hairpin there, into the stadium section, running out wide, left, then right, and then it's a double right-hander. You just need to wait for the front of the car to come round. We've lost a bit of time on exit. Hulkenberg provisionally fastest to 1:10.7. We cross the line, a 1:09.8. Shots fired. Beat that, everyone. And Bottas couldn't beat it. And I think that's pole for the German Grand Prix.
There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me. It's 2.8 miles around the Hockenheimring then, and some fairly wet conditions to overcome on this 17-corner circuit. The long, curved back straight leads into a tight hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity. But expect to see the cars running wide, as braking offline could prove very difficult indeed. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Let's talk briefly about Daniel Ricciardo. There's a new gearbox in the back of that car, which means a grid penalty, and hopefully some excitement as they make their way through the field.
Fingers crossed that's one failure they won't have to worry about today, at least. There's not much of a silver lining to starting down the field with a penalty, but I think they'll be able to make some of that back up over the course of the race.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. The captain lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Ocon, Carlos Sainz and Hulkenberg, Vettel, Verstappen, Ericsson and Daniel Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Raikkonen, Alonso, Brendan Hartley and Gasly, Leclerc, Magnussen, Roman Grosjean and Lance Stroll, Van Dorn and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid.
So there we have it. We crushed it in qualifying and we got pole position. So it's wet at the start of the race and it will transfer to dry a little bit later on. So as such, we're going to run just one extra lap of fuel. Hopefully we'll save a bit in the wet and push in the dry as we build with the lights. 5 are on at the German Grand Prix and away from pole position we go in the wet. Bunch of wheel spin, not the best start, but I don't appear to have been swamped into turn 1. In fact, I'm covering the inside line from Valtteri Bottas and watch everyone spread out on turn 1 and nearly go off the track myself. But we lead away a Mercedes 1-2 from Valtteri Bottas. Sergio Perez down to 3rd place. Esteban Ocon there in 4th. One of the Ferraris appears to have made a heap of positions off the line. In fact, no, there is a Renault in 5th, and that Ferrari has split them. So we now comfortably, as I stated before, in the lead and in an opportunity to control this race, and that is exactly what I plan to do. I let myself down in the British Grand Prix by not winning that one. However, I will lead home a Mercedes 1-2, or try to lead home a Mercedes 1-2 at the German Grand Prix. So a 24 flat, then Perez, Bottas, then Perez on 23.9s. The first 4 of us there, Mercedes, Force India, and on lap 3 we've already pulled a big gap to 5th place, which is the Renault. And we now move on to lap 5, and once again we're actually dropping Esteban Ocon a little bit. He hasn't showed too much pace. In fact, I'm not showing too much pace by going sideways in front of the Mercedes-Benz grandstand, but you can see the reins dying off a little bit, and Bottas very much trying to take a look, and the grip's not there. Look at me through the Sud curve. Normally I'm like much quicker than the eye through their maximum commitment, but the track's now getting a bit greasy. The rain's not really coming down, and this is where it gets a little bit treacherous, and I'm having to be just a little bit careful. I'm pretty much waiting for the dry period at this point, just trying to defend my lead as we do a 24.1. Bottas with a 23.7, the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he's definitely trying to put the pressure on. But we now move on to lap 6. Bottas very much up behind me, and once again at the Mercedes-Benz grandstands we're off the track. Counter steering, Bottas tries to go through, but he's held onto the outside where there's going to be more water and a bit of rubber, less grip, and that's actually pushed him into the path of Sergio Perez. So I've protected the lead for now, and I'm just dying for the track to dry at this point. It's a personal best of a 23.9, and because Bottas and Perez have been battling, thankfully I've built a bit of a lead up to them as I now go into the stadium section, and now Bottas is now defending from the train of the Force Indias. I've actually got a couple of seconds at this point, so hopefully we'll be getting the call any minute now to come on for dry tyres. Oh, and here it is, Jeff, as I mention it, 100%. They wanted me to come in on lap 8. They were prepared to hang me out to dry as Bottas comes into the pits. Mercedes trying to screw me because, that could have ended horribly. We come in for the yellow stripe tyres and we're held for the Force India of Perez. They wanted me to go round again, and if we had gone round again, we would have lost time. Now, Bottas has lost time. Bottas has lost a lot of time. Bottas has lost a hell of a lot of time. He's dropped behind Perez and may have dropped behind other cars as well. We've come out in P4 because Verstappen, DRS enabled now. Verstappen or Renault, I'm not too sure which one, and Ocon have carried on, but I was the lead Mercedes on track. I should have got the call to come in first, and you can see the tyres still not quite up to temperature. Perez is attacking. He's only 7 tenths behind. I've got no grip turning in to the stadium section. That puts Perez right up behind me, and you can see there's a tiny bit of spray coming up off the tyres, so the track may not have been 100% ready. As such, we are going to be ahead of Esteban Ocon, but not really by too much. So we've been lucky, and I am thankful we've regained the lead. But now, instead of it being Mercedes, Force India, it's more like the Force Indias are in a Mercedes sandwich as Perez sets the fastest lap on a 19.5. We gymkhana'd through turn 1, and then Bottas, seething at being held up, sets the fastest lap on an 18.9. So we'll see if Valtteri's able to hunt down. Look at the gap and the time that he's lost as we do a 16.3. And this is where we get into the zone and just prove to be a little bit untouchable round this track. I have the fastest car and I believe this is just a good circuit for me in general. But yeah, let's see if Bottas can close up to the Force Indias, as we're now once again. You can see the track evolution as Hulkenberg sets the fastest lap on a 16.3, and then so does Brendan Hartley. So that goes to show track evolution, as of the rubber's going down, it's going to get quicker, and come the end of lap 11, we are going to set a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. What is it going to be? As we come steaming across the line, it's a 14.2. The gap extends to Perez to 1.7 seconds, and I don't think at this point Force India have an answer. We're going to come across the line one more time into the 13s, a 13.2. And obviously part of this is, like I've said, part of this is just the track improvement. But also, it just goes to show that as it gets sunnier and the sky has opened and sunny as we come in for our second pit stop, we've built a gap to Ocon. Perez pit last time around, he fit the mediums. We went one lap longer, and I feel I can get the soft tyres to last to the end of the race. And I think Ocon's going to try and do the same thing. Bottas has fallen too far behind at this point. I don't think we're going to get that 1-2 quite like I wanted. And for those of you that were obviously paying attention while I was talking over Jeff, we got a VSC as we came into the pit. So everything's just falling into my lap at this point, and that's actually allowed Ocon to jump Perez, because and jump him quite convincingly as well, as we come to the end of lap 23. Fresh tyres, fully committed, a 1:12.5, and that's easily the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Can we do one better though? Let's ask. Unfortunately not. 1:12.5. We're actually now lapping Van Dorn and one of the Haas cars, but this has just been it's been dominant. It's Grosjean actually ahead of Van Dorn, but this has been quite a comfortably dominated Grand Prix by myself, in all honesty. Right now, I just need to try and keep my nose clean, which I nearly do. Nearly stick it in the wall. Trying to avoid ploughing into the back of Stoffel Van Dorn coming out of turn 1. We had to take some avoiding action, and we nearly stuck it in the wall. That would have been terrible, but coming through the final corner for the penultimate time, bit of DRS. We're lapping in the mid to high 1:13s, and we lead Ocon by 4.4 seconds. We lead Perez by even more, and there's a yellow flag and a car on the side of the road. It's a Red Bull. I couldn't quite see who it was, but I'd bet my house on it being Daniel Ricciardo, in all honesty. The tyres are easily fine. I don't know why Perez felt he needed to go to mediums to the end of the race. The softs have easily made it, and I've got no idea, quite frankly, where Valtteri Bottas is. Clearly seething upon the time lost at the first round of pit stops. But I was the lead car on circuit. I should have got the call. I got the call, but it was to come in a lap later. And quite frankly, I didn't feel like giving the win to Bottas today. But nonetheless, that's where we are. We're coming into the stadium section one final time. It's been truly dominant for myself, I would say. Not to try and brag or big myself up too much, but, you know, I just work well at Hockenheim. You know, it's one of the tracks that I always go well at. The car's fantastic. We've got the grip, and we just had the pace. Come rain or come shine, we come around the final corner for the final time to cross the line and win the German Grand Prix.
Superb driving. That's the race win.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So there we have it. We have comfortably won the German Grand Prix ahead of Esteban Ocon, 4.7 seconds behind. We were the only driver to do a lap in the 1:12s, and we did a lap in the 1:12s quite comfortably, but Force India rounding out the podium. Bottas got within 5 seconds of Perez, but he was never able to make up the time that he lost, unfortunately, at the first round of pit stops. Carlos Sainz, a fantastic job for Renault, finishing P5, and unfortunately, I would have lost my house in that bet, as Daniel Ricciardo secured P6 from 10th on the grid. for Red Bull. So Verstappen there retired as part of the Grand Prix. Raikkonen and Vettel bringing up 7th and 8th for Ferrari. Leclerc coming from 15th to 9th in the Sauber to get a good haul of points. And Hulkenberg unfortunately dropping from P6 on the grid down to a 10th place. So clearly the upgrade's not doing what they needed them to do. On the driver's side of things, we now break the 200 points barrier. We're on 201 World Championship points, leading Esteban Ocon now by 33 points. Then we still have Ricciardo and Verstappen. So even though we've had the fastest car for a longer period of time, Bottas still not able to get past the Red Bull drivers. Now I need him for the constructors standings. Obviously we are, as we move over to them, obviously Mercedes, we are top of the pile, of course. And our gap to now Force India as Red Bull in 2 races, they've gone from 1st to 3rd. Gap to Force India is 40 points, so we are relatively comfortable. Or it's going to take a double retirement and a 1-2 from Force India, and they'll go to the top. But let's talk about our win with Claire.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy.
It was.
You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You must be thrilled to be up on the podium.
Well, not just being on the podium, being on the top step. But like I say, it was one of those ones that I really expected, in all honesty.
Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they?
I was on the podium there, but to get an easy win is always nice. Obviously, we want the competition, but you take a win any way you can.
The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you?
The racing was close at the start, but I'm better as it goes along.
Great. Well, that's everything.
There we have the German Grand Prix out the way and in the books for Season 3, and another fantastic win for myself and for the Mercedes team. Quite an easy one. A lot of big cuts in this one, but things just went our way, and you can't really complain when things go your way. Not really, you know, a lot to show you guys. Just me doing laps, maintaining a gap, building a gap. I could say it was very Sebastian Vettel-esque, in all honesty, that performance. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed, please leave a like, and of course comment any feedback down below. It's always greatly appreciated. Next time out, we go to again one of my weaker circuits, the Hungarian Grand Prix. You never really know what to expect there. But the AI tends to be very strong at Hungary, so I suppose I'll see what's what when we get there. And then, of course, we go on to a few tracks that suit me better. Tracks like Belgium, tracks like Italy. And then we go on to Singapore. So, yeah, you know, good few tracks, good few bad tracks. I suppose we will see as we come on and start rounding out Season 3, of course, with the second half of the season. I hope you will continue the ride with me, and I will see you all next time.